that we believe at the EDC, and I know my chairman and some board members here, so they'll tackle me if they disagree, but one of those is that economic development is a team sport. And it takes a community, and it takes partners on every level, from education to finance to, most importantly, the private sector themselves. So it's great to be here with all of you. And secondly, we believe that a diverse economy is a vibrant economy, which is a sustainable economy. And that is why that this is a subject matter, a sector of our economy that we believe is very important. By show of hands, who here considers themselves an entrepreneur or works for what they consider as an entrepreneur-based company? Show of hands. Who here in the room works to support entrepreneurs as they create jobs and create new companies and innovation? Who here believes that the entrepreneurial economy is something that could be a powerful boost for our local economy and something that we can do more to support here in Rowan County? I think you look around, you see that I think almost everybody's hand went up on at least one of these, and that's one of the reasons why for this year, one of the goals of Rowan Works is to work with our partners, and it has been great working with Elaine since she's joined the chamber. It's great to be a partner with her on this today, but the colleges and the community as a whole, to develop a strategy for sustainable entrepreneurial support process here, that we can do more over the long term to encourage the creation of innovative companies here and to keep our children here and give them opportunities and hope for a better future. That doesn't mean going off to a college and not coming back. So with that said, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to have all of you here, and I'm excited to introduce someone that I consider a friend, although after dinner last night, I'm not sure if he'll still say the same. A true entrepreneurial expert, someone that's going to help us start to galvanize our conversations around entrepreneurship and develop a strategy to move forward as a community around this subject. An expert in entrepreneurship, the president of EntreWorks, Erik.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully with no feedback. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I want to thank F&M Bank and our sponsors and the Chamber and the EDC board members for inviting me to participate in this series. It's just great to be here. I've known Elaine and Robert for quite a long time, even Elaine prior to her coming here to Rowan County. And I can also say, I've been very impressed with both of them over many years. I've known both of them, and so to quote Steve, quoting myself, you have a world-class, kick-ass economic development team too. You should be very happy to have them here. What I want to talk to you about today is building the next economy in Rowan County. And so what I want to do is really kind of go through, some of the data. There's not great information about what's going on with your entrepreneurial small business sector in the county, and then make the case for you that you need to rethink what you're doing in terms of economic development, and also you need to rethink about what you're doing in terms of how you support small businesses, how you support entrepreneurs. And if I had to give you a theme, and it's on a couple of the slides, I want you to move away from the idea of incubation, of hatching businesses, to acceleration. So how do we shift from incubation to acceleration? My basic point, and this is one thing you can take away, and if you want to leave, you may right after this. But the point is, what I want you to take away is that it's not enough to get people to start businesses. What you need to do is to help people grow world-class businesses. The best companies in the world, you've got to try to grow them in this community. That's not easy. That's a very complex, long-term process. But if you want to have economic development outcomes, if you want this place to be more prosperous for your kids and your grandkids, you need to do that. It's not enough to get people to start businesses. That's a good thing. I'm the biggest fan of business startups in the world, probably. But if you just do that, you won't have those impacts for the next generation and the generation after that. Slide, please. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about. Done that already. Let's go to the next slide. So who creates jobs in the American economy today? And let me just say, we'll make sure that we get these slides available to anybody who wants that are after this. I'm going to mainly talk about the first two categories here, new companies and fast-growing companies. But really, the fast-growing companies is the most important thing that you need to think about. 1% of companies in the United States create 40% of all the jobs. Okay? So these are the companies, these are the Googles, these are the Integros of the world. These are the companies that start small and grow fast really, really quickly. That's kind of what I want you, those are the kinds of companies you want to aspire to have in your community. But I also don't want to say that it's just these companies. Successful middle market companies are also very important to the local economy. The F&M banks of the world are in this space to a certain extent. They are very resilient and they're anchors of the community. And then another thing, which really comes back to how you help these fast-growing companies, is companies that export tend to do better. It's not enough to get companies to come to start in your community and only sell in the county or even in the region. You've got to get them to do business across the United States and really across the world. Excellent. So I've got a couple slides that give you some of the information about how you've been doing in terms of supporting startups and fast-growing companies in the community. These are a little bit hard to see, and I'm going to just quick going through them briefly. But the basic picture is, it isn't that great, okay? To summarize, that's the technical term. So what I'm showing here, this is, in the United States, you've got 26 million businesses. But this is a survey that asks people, did you start a business in the past year? And in the United States, roughly, it's about 300 people for every 100,000 start a business every year. That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you do that every year, year on year, you start to get a lot of people starting business. So the U.S. is at about 300. North Carolina, we don't have the data for your county, is 260, okay? So 300 get started in the United States every year, 260 get started in North Carolina every year. Doesn't seem like a big difference. But if you do that year on year on year, you're basically 10, 20% behind every year, and that builds up, this is the negative case of compounding interest, right? I mean, that gap keeps growing longer and longer every year. So this would worry me. This is that, and this is just about startups. Next slide. The next two would worry me even more. Okay, so this is looking at job growth. What you've got here, green is the United States, red is North Carolina, blue is Rowan County. And what we're showing here on this side, this is over the past 10 years, and that's over the past 2 years, okay? So the one on the right is for the past 2 years. And what's that, basically what it's showing you is that your job growth is pretty good over the past decade. I mean, you did better than the state, you did better than the United States. Now look at what's happened in the past 2 years. After the recession is supposedly ended. I mean, I realize that's a point of dispute. But the point is, that's something, again, something that you ought to be concerned about. Next one. Now this one, again, is really probably difficult to read, but what we've got here is we've looked at the companies by their size and the jobs that they create. So you go from self-employment to the red is for 9 employees, blue is for 10 to 99 employees, and so on and so forth. So what you've got, this is a very worrying sign. People, the sole proprietors, the self-employed, the number of jobs they create. Look how negative that is. I mean, those are your future entrepreneurs. So that's a worrying sign. The fact that you're pretty low in what we call stage 1 companies, the 0 to 10 companies. I mean, those are the companies that are poised to grow. This is very good, the green. The green is actually the most important thing for economic development, stage 2 companies. Those are the companies that are your future world-class businesses, right? Integro, right? What are they? They're about 25 employees, something like that. So they're right in that space. Those are the companies that have proven themselves, and can they go to the next level? So the fact that you've got a lot of those stage 2 companies here, that is a very good sign. But the fact that you don't have a lot of people starting businesses, and those people are losing jobs, their businesses are going out of business, and you don't have a lot of people, it's what we call stage 1, that will worry you as well. Okay, enough for data. That's it. No more numbers. Okay, next slide, please. So what's the bottom line? You got weak startup performance, and we're worrying, to get worse over time. Okay, you were good over the decade, you haven't been so good for the past 10 years. Next slide. So what I want to try to do is to get you to think about a potential new approach, or revise some of the things that you're doing now. But before we do that, I want to take us back to the beginning. What are we trying to do? If I say, I want you to support entrepreneurship, I want entrepreneurship to be part of your economic development strategy. What does that mean in practice? Okay? What it means is you've got to do these 4 things. Start. You've got to help more people start businesses. You've got to inform people. So you've got to teach people how to run businesses. You've got to teach people how to start businesses. You've got to teach people about opportunities that are out there. Now, hopefully, not always, the fact that they learn something means that they'll be better in business. That's our hope, right? It's not always the case. The point is, hopefully, if they've got that better information, that better knowledge, they're going to have better businesses. And by a better business, I mean one that's going to survive, one that's going to create jobs, one that's going to create wealth. And hopefully, by the fact that these businesses succeed, we all, the rising tide lifts all boats. So that's what we're about. So I want you to always remember, when we talk about what are we trying to do with supporting entrepreneurs, it's these four things. Next slide. Okay, so this is kind of the big picture. If you had each of you entrepreneurs, and I used to work for the Kauffman Foundation, which is the world's biggest funder of entrepreneurship research. And for about 5 years, I went all around the country and I interviewed entrepreneurs, every place in the United States. And we basically asked them, what matters to you and why are you here? Okay? First question is, why were they here? It was because I'm from here. My family was here. It was no rocket science. Okay? So the point is, the fact that we think that people move for tax incentives or people move because it's cheaper in this county versus another county, that's a myth, at least for entrepreneurs. And then we ask them, what else matters to you? Why are you staying in these communities? And these are the things that they said matter. A community culture that says entrepreneurs are important. Obviously, you're all here, so you have that here. Easy access to support, money, access to talent, which is where can I get a workforce that's appropriate for my needs, and access to networks. And networks is very important. We'll talk about that. Next slide, please. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about over the remainder of my talk are these three things. If you're thinking about now we're going to operationalize things, what are the things that you ought to be putting in place in the community? Next. And this really, again, this would be a slide, if you were to take one back from you, this is what I would encourage you to remember from the presentation. This is what we do now. If we say, okay, we're going to help small businesses in our community, what are we going to do? We're going to help them write a business plan. We're going to make loans to them. We're going to give them tax credits. We're going to give them subsidized space. I don't have a problem with any of those things. All of those things are important. We actually do that pretty well. In North Carolina, you do that pretty well with your SBTDC system, your SBC system, and those kinds of things. You're not bad on that. I mean, don't fix what ain't broken. This is what we need to be doing, okay? On the left-hand side. Much more sophisticated, customized, focused, kind of business coaching and mentoring. This is hard. If it was easy to do, we would be doing it already. But if you want to be successful, if you want to build those world-class companies, this is the kind of services that you need to provide in an entrepreneurial development strategy. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Next slide. Okay, so how do you get it? Well, we've got to do a couple things. One, we've got to grow more ambitious entrepreneurs. Yes, we want to encourage people to start a business, but it's not enough to just start the nail salon. You want to start a nail salon that's going to be in every mall in the United States, right? It's not enough to start a restaurant. You want to start the next McDonald's. It's not enough to start an IT company. You want to start the next Google. That's what you want to get people to be ambitious about. Now, again, they may not always succeed, but that's what you want to encourage people to do if they have the passion in the community. You've got to network those businesses and link them to these global market opportunities. You've got to invest in them, and then you've got to groom talent. Grooming talent, I can't overemphasize how important that is. Okay, so investing. The first thing I encourage you to think about is what are ways that we can get resources to companies beyond bank loans. I love banks. I do business with banks. I get working capital from banks. But fast-growing entrepreneurs need more than just banks. They need equity investments of multiple kinds. If they're growing fast, they're on a rocket ship. And it's not enough to have a loan, and particularly you should get into newer businesses or businesses that are in the technology area. They may not have the collateral for a traditional kind of loan. So what kind of investing can we do with that? Well, one thing would be to encourage local angel investors. Does everybody know what an angel investor is? Okay. Well, I have a technical definition for an angel investor: rich dude. Or rich gal. I don't want to be sexist. Okay? But an angel investor is basically wealthy individuals that invest in businesses. Well, they exist all over in these communities. They exist in this community. I know that. But we've got to find a way to bring them together to pool money to help businesses. Another thing to think about, and this is a new thing, is crowdfunding. People know what crowdfunding is? Well, crowdfunding is basically like a Kickstarter on the web where you can go out and put your business idea and people can invest in it. Lots of communities, crowdfunding just was authorized, made legal by the SEC, by new law in Congress, a relatively new law in Congress. Lots of communities are looking, let's do a local crowdfunding. So let's put local companies up and see if local people want to invest in them. That would be another thing to think about. Also, think about, you have various revolving loan funds from the federal government that exist already, from the Housing Department, from the Department of Agriculture, from the Economic Development Administration. I did some research a couple of years ago. There is something like $3 billion, $3 billion would be, of revolving loan fund money the federal government has invested over the last 20 years that is sitting unused in the United States economy now. $3 billion. It's just sitting there because people don't have the resources to market the funds, et cetera. So this is money that we've already appropriated that is just sitting there that we could get out to businesses. So finding ways to get those kinds of dollars out to businesses is another thing we can think about doing. Growth services is another thing. Again, I'm all about encouraging you to think about how do you help companies grow. And the emerging model for this is what is called economic gardening. Economic gardening is a whole set of strategies. You can even become a certified economic gardener nowadays if you want to be. And it's a program that focuses on these companies that are on the verge of growing and helps them think about the next place to go. And they don't provide loans. They don't write business plans. Really, what economic gardening is about market intelligence, helping companies identify new customers, new market opportunities. So the example that I actually saw it in person was economic gardening started in a community in Colorado, and the woman had an idea to make a dog biscuit bakery, right? So what she did is she signed up for the economic gardening program, and they subscribed to all these marketing databases and all these information tools. And she was able to find, because of economic gardening, where do people that own dogs live? How much do they spend every year? What do they think about their dog? What are the kinds of messages they receive from marketing databases? She was able to locate her businesses in a certain place, target her marketing things, target her advertisements. Where do I put flyers? What kind of TV shows do I advertise on? That's the kind of gold information that you're going to really help a company grow. Yes, you can help them write a business plan. Yes, you can teach them QuickBooks. That's all very important. But if you say, here's 5 customers, go get them. They're going to be much more successful and much more appreciative of what we're doing. So economic gardening is a very, very important kind of service to think about. I want to talk about talent development. I just want to make sure that we have this overarching theme before I talk about some different ways to do talent development. But again, if you talk to entrepreneurs, this is head and shoulders the most important thing. If they could only have one thing, it would be a workforce that is appropriate to their needs. That's the most important thing. More important than capital, more important than networks, more important than all the other things I've talked about. And as you're thinking about that, think about these kinds of themes. One is we've got to make everybody an innovator. I'm talking about fast-growing companies, but it's not just about technology firms. It's everybody in the community needs to think more creatively, think more innovatively. When I worked for the Kauffman Foundation, we talked about we want to educate people K through grade. That was the language that we used. So that's what I'm talking about, right? The seniors need to be engaged in this. The kids in kindergarten, even in nursery school, need to think about different ways to be creative and innovative. So getting that kind of education into the schools at every level, in the K-12, in the community college, in 4-year institutions is important. And embracing 21st century skills, which I'm sure you're familiar with. This is about problem solving, collaboration, team building, those kinds of strategies. That's the talent that entrepreneurs are looking for nowadays. So what you need to do is to think about how can we embed entrepreneurship in our community. This is not really an economic development issue. It is, but it really is about how do you change the culture in your community? How do you get people to think differently? This is not just, let's get a business and it creates jobs. You're trying to change the mindset of the entire community with an entrepreneurship strategy. So people are more willing to take risks. They're less fearful of failure. They're more supportive of other people who are succeeding and growing businesses. So there's lots of different things that you need to do. One of the most important things we need to do is engage students. Things like Startup Weekend, the Mayor's Award for the best business in the community, County Commissioner's Award for the most successful entrepreneurs. Community colleges, you have a great community college in this community. They need to be a critical part of your entrepreneurial development strategy. The students that go to community college, those are your future entrepreneurs. Right? It's not the students coming from MIT or Stanford or Harvard and all the other schools that we talk about. It's the students in community college. They are most likely to start a business. They are most likely to be in your community. They are most likely to be the future leaders of your community. So it's very important. And we talk talk about these other two in just a second. The other thing I would encourage you to do is to embrace what we call the 1099 workforce. Okay? I said I wasn't going to do numbers. I got one more number. The 1099 workforce, that refers to the tax forms for freelancers, consultants, and independent workers and sole proprietors. Okay? So I'm in the 1099 workforce personally. That's the way I do that. This is the fastest growing segment of the American economy in terms of employment. In the United States today, it's about 30% of all workers are in the 1099 economy. These are people that have a business at home, are a freelancer, are an independent consultant. They are the future of our economy. And regardless of what you feel about Obamacare, they're going to become even more important, because one of the unintended consequences of Obamacare is we're going to have a boom in people starting businesses. Because the old impediment to starting a business was that you couldn't get health care. That's going to be gone, right? So they've already projected it. They expect it to go 10 to 15% over the next couple of years, the number of people starting businesses, because health care is no longer an impediment to business startup. So regardless of how you feel about Obamacare politically, from an entrepreneurship standpoint, that aspect of it is going to be a very good thing. So what this chart is showing is growth in the 1099 economy in the United States. And you can see some parts of North Carolina haven't had massive growth. But most places in the United States have had massive growth in this part of the economy. Now the people that work in this economy, some of them are not there by choice, right? Their employers didn't give them health insurance, pushed them into independent contracting status. But a large part of that workforce are entrepreneurs, have their own businesses, want to grow businesses. And so having strategies that focus on those kinds of people is very important. Next slide. And the one thing I would encourage you to think about is co-working space. So a co-working space is just that. It's a place where people can do business together. It's not an incubator. It's basically an open space. It's basically a Starbucks without coffee. Okay? That's the way I define it, right? You've got a table, you've got fast internet access in there. People can come in. Sometimes you might have speakers, you might have events there. But it's basically what we call a third place. It's not work, it's not home. It's a place where people can come and hang out and do business with one another. So I'm based in Arlington, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C. We have 6 co-working spaces in Arlington, Virginia. 6, okay? So it is the thing that is happening nowadays. Now you've got some lovely facilities down on Main Street here. You've got, I looked at those, that would be a great co-working space, right? This is one that just opened up in Bangor, Maine that I was in 2 weeks ago. This is the co-working space they have there. And that's basically what it is. People come in and do business together. What happens is the freelancers get together, they share ideas, they come up with better business ideas. So they're helping one another, they're doing business with one another. And guess what? It doesn't cost you anything except for the building, to heat the building. Maybe pay for the internet access. So this is a really excellent strategy, and it's massively growing. The global co-working census shows that there's 781 in the U.S. That's from a year ago. I'm sure we're way over 1,000 in the United States. As I said, we have 6 in Arlington, 3 have opened in the past year. So I'm sure that we're way over 1,000 in the United States. You've got a couple of them right here nearby. You've got a couple of recent examples. So I encourage you to think about this as a strategy that can help you support those people that have great business ideas in their bedroom, in their dorm room, in their basement. Next slide. So, some closing thoughts for you. As you're going forward and thinking about this new strategy, what are some things that you want to do? One is you want to make everybody an innovator. This is too important to just leave to the tech geeks, right? Everybody in this community has the potential to be an entrepreneur, has the potential to build a successful venture. You don't have to do it alone. Do it in teams, you can do it in partners, but everybody has that potential. And if we get more and more people to do that, we're going to get more and more world-class business ideas that come out of that. You need to honor and support entrepreneurs. They're no different from everybody else. They like to see their name in the paper. They like to receive awards. They like to be thanked for what they're doing for the community. Make that a priority. You seem to be doing that already. You need to be developing new support tools and resources. It's primarily what I've been talking about today. And again, I do, as much as I think it's important to support entrepreneurs, I do also want to recognize that you need to build a balanced economic development portfolio. That doesn't mean don't do anything else. I'd love it if employee company move to this community, as I know you would too. It doesn't mean you don't do it. You want to look at economic development just like you look at your retirement portfolio. You invest in different asset classes. Entrepreneurship is one of your asset classes. It's a very important one. It's kind of like small cap stocks or something like that, if you want to put it in those kinds of terms. But you want to help, you have to do all of the kinds of economic development strategies. So this isn't a replacement for the old strategy. It's a supplement to some of the other things you're doing. But the good news is, by helping entrepreneurs, you help everybody. Because that creates more talent for existing businesses, that creates buzz in the community, that creates a better community, that creates a new generation of civic and community leaders through the entrepreneurs. So there's a lot of reasons for why you want to go do that. Next slide. I think we're done there. I want to thank you for the opportunity to share some ideas with you. I believe we have some time for questions.
Let's first have a big round of applause for Erik.
we don't need to do it, but I have read that sometimes there's a focus that these entrepreneurs sort of are in the aviation industry or in healthcare or something. Is that a good idea? Is that a good organizing principle? And if that's the case, do you know enough about this community to say, consider this or consider that?
Yeah, very good question. Now, there's a little bit of difference about that question, but I'll give my own personal opinion. My own personal opinion is that you should not target. Because the most important thing for successful entrepreneurs is to be passionate about what they're doing. You say, well, you know, Erik, you could go into the aviation industry and make buku dollars. I say, well, I hate the aviation industry. You know? I'm probably not going to be that interested in it. So, I mean, really, you need to, you know, you can say there's opportunities here, but you don't necessarily push people into different kinds of sectors. People are going to be successful in the things that they care about. So I am very cautious. I'm not opposed to targeting industries for other reasons, but in terms of pushing people in towards certain industries, I'm personally not a fan of that kind of focus.
Anything else?
I'm curious. You talked about name of name, the co-workers, the building. Well, who pays for the building? You said you just have to pay for the heat and the internet. Does the city or the county supply the building?
In this case, it's an economic development district, has spare space in one of their offices, so they put equivalent of 2 conference rooms or something like that, and they made that in co-working space with a separate entrance. And that's pretty typical how these things are done. I've even seen it where a large company had extra space and turned the extra space into co-working space. A great one I went to in Arizona, it was a web design company, and they made a co-working space, and they would basically hire the freelancers that came in there for jobs as they needed. So not only were they helping the community, they were helping their own bottom line.
We have one more over here.
What about the use of competitions in our community to improve the mindset of entrepreneurship?
I am the biggest fan of the world with those. This would be like a business plan competition of the best business in the community. Those reach the general public and get people excited about it. And they don't cost a lot of money. I mean, that's one of the most important things. So yeah, pretty much, if that's not in your quiver, I would encourage you to think about it. You need to do that. I mean, not only would I say it's a good idea, that must be part of what you need in this community. Some sort of competition. Could be high school, could be at the community college level, could be just for everybody. You need to think about what's best in your community. But I know, I'm a judge here in North Carolina. We have the Hop on the Bus business plan competition. 6th graders, right? So for business plans, and it's sponsored by NC Real, if you know them, Real Enterprises. They do youth entrepreneurship training. So they do 6th graders, and it's a really cool project. But you can do it, for anyone.
Well, Erik, let's have another big round of applause. Token of our appreciation, some goodies from the chocolate factory right downtown, and appreciate him coming. I love this guy. He was very, very helpful in my previous community, and as Robert said, he is regarded as an expert in entrepreneurial development. But as he said, we need to make this our own, and so Rowan Works and Rowan County Chamber are going to be getting together a task your help with that.